za krótsze 500, ale mimo wszystko.
Dawid, ale wiesz co, bo teraz jesteśmy niesieni falą entuzjazmu, ale tak zupełnie, no ja wiem, że się nie da zwłaszcza w tej konkretnym momencie, żeby coś powiedzieć tak na spokojnie i na chłodno, ale niezależnie od wyniku.
That wasn't a kid misplacing his hat. That was a grown man on live TV reaching over and snatching it from a child. And now the internet can't stop talking about it. This week, the US Open delivered more than just tennis highlights. A viral clip took center stage, not because of an incredible rally or an emotional victory speech, but because of a single shocking moment that left fans stunned. A wealthy man, caught on camera, appeared to steal a gift meant for a child. The fallout? An online firestorm that spread across social media in hours. So, what exactly happened? It all began right after Polish tennis player Kamil Majkrak's match. Fresh off a win, Majkrak wanted to give back to his supporters. Like many athletes do, he scanned the stands for a fan to share a keepsake with, and he spotted a young boy named Brock sitting close to the court. The moment was shaping up to be one of those little memories fans cherish forever. The tennis star walked over, lifted his cap, and reached out toward Brock. You can even see the boy's face light up. He knew this was his moment. But then, the unexpected happened. Before the cap reached the boy's hands, a man leaned in from the side, grabbed it midair, and pulled it toward himself. The boy tried to protest, even stretching his hands forward as if to say, "Wait, that's mine." But it was too late. The cap was gone, and the whole thing was caught on camera. The crowd's reaction said it all. Gasps, awkward claps, and a visible wave of discomfort rolled through the stands. The boy's disappointment was written all over his face. What should have been a joyful moment for a young fan instantly became one of the most talked about awkward encounters in sports. Of course, this is the internet we're talking about. It didn't take long for the clip to spread. Fans clipped, slowed down, and zoomed in on the footage. They posted it with captions like "shameless," "greedy," and "who does this?" Memes began popping up almost instantly. By the next morning, nearly anyone scrolling their feed had seen it. And the big question hanging in the air was simple. Who is that man? Because here's the thing, it wasn't just some random spectator. Online sleuths, as always, got to work. Within hours, the man in the clip had a name, a face, and a backstory. The internet identified him as Piotr Szczerek, a wealthy CEO from Poland who runs a paving company called Drogbruk. Suddenly, this wasn't just a funny or cringeworthy clip anymore. It had turned into a full-blown scandal. With a name attached, the backlash only grew louder. Comment sections across platforms filled up with anger and disbelief. People started linking the video directly to Szczerek's company. Google searches that once pulled up his business now displayed headlines about the hat incident. Even memes began overtaking his company's search results. For most CEOs, bad press is something you can spin or bury. But in this case, no amount of PR money could stop what the internet had already set in motion. So now the internet had a name. The man caught on camera wasn't just any random spectator. He was identified as Piotr Szczerek, a CEO from Poland who runs a paving company. And once his identity was linked to the viral clip, things escalated quickly. This wasn't just about a hat anymore. It was about power, privilege, and how one careless action can instantly turn into a worldwide headline. People online didn't hold back. Comment sections exploded with criticism. What kind of millionaire snatches a gift from a child? One user wrote. Another said, "Money can buy you a lot of things, but it can't buy class." Memes began spreading faster than wildfire, painting Szczerek as the ultimate villain of the stands. And while the internet laughed, mocked, and criticized, there was a real-life impact. His company, Drogbruk, started trending, but for all the wrong reasons. Instead of business promotions or positive press, Google searches brought up endless posts about the stolen cap. On platforms like Twitter, Reddit, and TikTok, the narrative was clear. This wasn't a misunderstanding, it was greed, caught in HD. For any CEO, reputation is everything. And within hours, Szczerek's professional image was being dismantled in front of millions. Meanwhile, the boy at the center of it all, little Brock, became a symbol of the moment. His reaction, that stunned, disappointed look, was replayed again and again. Viewers could feel his heartbreak. This wasn't just about losing a hat. It was about losing what should have been a magical fan experience, stolen in front of the world. But thankfully, one person wasn't going to let it end like that. Kamil Majcrak, the tennis player who originally tried to gift the cap, stepped in. Instead of letting the awkward moment fade into internet history, he used his platform to make things right. On social media, he put out a call asking for help finding the boy. And the internet delivered. Within a short time, fans tracked down Brock and connected him with the player. When the two finally met, Majcrak didn't just hand over a replacement cap. He gave Brock signed memorabilia, posed for pictures, and turned the boy's disappointment into joy. The images of Brock smiling with his arms full of souvenirs quickly went viral as well, but this time, for all the right reasons. The story could have ended there, but for Szczerek, by now, he was facing intense backlash. People wanted to hear from him directly. Why had he done it? Did he realize what he had taken away from that child? And more importantly, was he sorry? After days of silence, Szczerek finally broke. He released a formal statement on his company's website. In it, he insisted the entire situation was a misunderstanding. He claimed he thought the cap was being given to his sons, who had asked for autographs earlier in the day. In the chaos of the crowd, he said he believed Majcrak was offering it to them. He apologized to the boy, the family, the fans, and even to the tennis player himself. On paper, it sounded like the kind of apology that should settle things. But online, it fell flat. Here's why. The video showed one story, a grown man leaning over, snatching a cap from a child, ignoring the boy's protest. That looked deliberate. That looked entitled. But his apology painted another picture entirely, of confusion, misunderstanding, and chaos in the crowd. The two stories didn't match. And when the internet spots a gap like that, they don't forgive easily. Adding to the skepticism was a strange detail in his statement. Szczerek described the boy as injured. People weren't sure what he meant. Was it a mistranslation? Was he talking about emotional hurt? Or did he really believe he caused physical harm? The wording raised more questions than answers. And then came the rumors. Across forums and social platforms, alleged quotes started surfacing. Some posts claimed Szczerek had snapped at the boy, telling him, "If you were faster, you would have it." Others claimed he threatened to sue critics or that his legal team was preparing action against people spreading the clip. Now, to be fair, Szczerek denied all of that. He said none of those quotes came from him, his wife, or his lawyers. He accused people online of making up fake statements just to fuel the outrage. But by the time he clarified, the damage was done. Once the internet locks onto a villain, rumors don't need to be true to spread. Think about it. How many times have we seen scandals like this blow up overnight? From celebrities caught in awkward moments, to politicians filmed saying the wrong thing, to everyday people whose private mistakes suddenly get blasted online. Once the clip is out there, context almost doesn't matter anymore. The video becomes the truth. And in this case, the truth people believed was simple. A millionaire stole a hat from a kid and then tried to spin it as a misunderstanding. The fallout was brutal. His company's online presence was practically hijacked. Instead of ads or business information, people searching his name were bombarded with memes, angry posts, and endless commentary about the incident. Years of building a brand reputation were undone by 20 seconds of bad judgment. Meanwhile, Majcrak continued with his tournament. Even though he later had to withdraw due to injury, his reputation only grew stronger. He was seen as the hero of the story, the athlete who cared enough to track down a disappointed fan and make things right. In the end, the contrast between the two men couldn't have been sharper. One walked away with admiration. The other walked away branded as the internet's hat thief. And that brings us to the bigger question. Was this really just a misunderstanding blown way out of proportion? Or was it a glimpse into how entitlement looks when the cameras are rolling? Because here's the thing, if no cameras had been around, if the clip never went viral, would there have been an apology at all? Would anyone have cared? Or would a boy's disappointment have simply faded away unacknowledged? What this story shows is how powerful the internet has become in shaping reputations. In a matter of hours, Szczerek went from being a relatively unknown businessman to one of the most talked about people online. His name, his company, his family, all dragged into the spotlight, all because of one impulsive grab. And maybe that's the lesson here. In today's digital age, the smallest choices can define you. What feels like a split-second decision can follow you forever.